Welcome to Division C in Toastmasters, District 61. I'm Rishanthi Pattiarachchi, Division C Director for 2023 and 2024. First of all, thanks for joining us. This video is a high-level summary of a cool way of planning workshop I delivered to Division C club officers in August 2023. The main goal of this video is to introduce you to the IDS approach, which is a simple but proven way of developing strategic plans for our clubs. Introduction to the IDS approach. As Benjamin Franklin famously said, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. According to research, effective planning saves approximately 10 to 15% of time in implementation. We all understand planning is important for success. But why do we still fail to plan? You might say, we don't have time, we don't know how to, even plans fail, why bother? All these are true reasons why we neglect to plan. Are they really true though? Now let's try to find answers for these compelling but unfounded excuses we all would like to cite, even myself. The approach I'm planning to share with you today can help you develop effective strategic plans for personal, professional, or any other setting. Because our common interest here is Toastmasters leadership, we will think this process in the context of Toastmasters. More precisely, we are aiming at developing a strategic plan for a Toastmasters club for a 1-year period. In the first place, what is strategic planning? The literal meaning of strategic is the identification of long-term aims and interests and the means to achieving them. I see strategic planning as a process. It involves 3 elements. Number 1 is the current state. Number 2 is the desired state. And number 3 are the initiatives that help you go from the current state to the desired state. Before we go deeper into each element of this IDS approach, I invite you to pay close attention to the nuances in this picture. Can you identify a few differences in the current and future state? As you can see, the future state is big, higher, and brighter. It is exciting and inspiring to get there. And that's exactly why we want to get there. Now, the next logical question is, how do we get there? What I propose we all could adopt is the IDS approach. This is a simple but methodical approach I developed based on my personal experience and research. It involves 3 elements: ideation, diversification, and simplification. When we put together these 3 elements in a logical manner, these time-tested tools help you develop a dream strategic plan for your club. By no means I'm suggesting that I have mastered this approach, even personally. However, I can tell you with great certainty that every time I achieved my goals, I followed this process. In situations where I failed achieving my goals, I've fallen short of 1 or 2 or 3 elements of this process. I invite you to explore this approach with an open mind. Try to understand the logic or rationale of the process at a deeper level so you can create your own way of developing the best approach that works for you. All right, let's get to the first step: ideation. First of all, ideation, as the word suggests, involves using some uninterrupted time in thinking through things. Ideation is a powerful brainstorming process that involves two essential components. First, the ideation process begins with a profound self-awareness exercise, which entails understanding who you are at this very moment and gaining clarity on where you stand in your journey. This involves understanding your values, strengths, weaknesses, likes, and dislikes. If we bring this to the Toastmasters club context, as we all know, each club is different. Each club is defined by its members' interest, experiences, and the way they would like to function the club. At this stage, you try to understand who you are as a club. In the corporate world, we conduct SWOT analysis where we identify the organization's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Similarly, a moment of truth session in Toastmasters offers a similar experience. The second element is to identify your desired state in the future. In other words, who do you want to become? Where do you want to go? This is the exciting place that makes you fulfilled. Ideation encourages the practice of blue sky thinking, where the horizon of possibilities is boundless. This is called long-term thinking. After 50 years of research, Dr. Edward Banfield of Harvard University concluded that long-term perspective was the most important determinant of success. Let's permit us to create a one-year fantasy. Don't do reality checks, please. At this stage of the process, you are still in your dream world, in your ideation process. You have identified a big goal, but at the same time, your self-awareness exercise has brought you to light discouraging ideas related to why can't you get to this desired state? You will find dozens of reasons why you can't achieve your desired state, because you may have weaknesses. You see challenges. Are you with me? Do you feel the tension, anxiety, and negativity? That's okay. As the saying goes, no pain, no gain, right? A caution. There are no unrealistic goals. Every glorious achievement has started as an unrealistic dream. Yes, there are no unrealistic goals. But of course, there could be unrealistic plans. That's why we need to have a tested approach in developing our club plans. The first task is to create an effective plan. In order to do that, we need to write something down on paper. I mean it. According to neuroscience, writing something down using our hand sends a strong message to our subconscious mind that works invisibly to help us realize our goals. How or in what form we should be writing them? Remember SMART goals that we've learned in Toastmasters? Write your goal in the SMART format. In other words, your goal should be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. I put some examples for an individual member or a club or an area. Again, according to neuroscience discoveries, the goals should be written in present tense, not in future tense. Because we are Toastmasters leaders, let's focus on the second goal I've identified. ABC Club achieves the distinguished club status by June 30th, 2024. This goal is specific, measurable, actionable, or achievable, realistic, and time-bounded. All these concepts are self-explanatory, aren't they? However, I would like to discuss the measurability element a bit further because we all can get confused here. Once you set a goal, how do you know whether you are achieving them or not? That's when the measurability comes in. In order to do that, you need to set some targets or milestones or metrics that help you measure progress against your strategic goal. That's why we need to identify key performance indicators or KPIs to confirm that you are successfully moving forward with achieving your end big goal. I think it's a good time to introduce the Distinguished Club program because it presents the key performance indicators for a Toastmasters club. As you can see in this slide, under 4 categories: education, membership, training, and administration, we have 10 performance indicators against which a club's progress will be measured. I'm not planning to dwell into the DCP here, but in order to understand the IDS approach, I want to drive home 2 points. First, there should be key performance indicators attached to the goal that you identify. Second, every time you tick the box for completing or succeeding in one key performance indicator, please keep in mind you are 1 point closer to your end goal or your desired state. Without a key performance indicator, we can't know where we are going. For example, it could be delusional because you think you are making progress, but actually you are not. On the other hand, it could be discouraging because you feel like you are not going anywhere or you are not doing enough or not making any progress, but actually you are. Your key performance indicators will tell you you are in the right direction. Now we studied the ideation process and how you identify your key performance indicators. Let's move on to the next step of the ideation process: diversify. The next critical step is to explore the diverse avenues that can lead you towards achieving your end goal. In other words, this is where you identify tools or initiatives that will propel you towards your desired state or your end goal. Think these initiatives as milestones you set to achieve your key performance indicators. For example, as we saw in the other slide, key performance indicator number 7 in the DCP program is to attract 4 new members. One initiative to achieve this KPI could be organizing an open house, or another could be organizing a speechcraft course. Now, finding the right initiative is no easy task. That's why we need to be strategic and invest some time to figure this out as club officers earlier than later. The premise I want to emphasize here is that we should be looking at different options, initiatives that will help us achieve our goal. Remember the old wisdom? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Have an open mind and think broader to see what kind of options you can find to achieve similar results. How? We are still in the creative, open-minded, and optimistic state where we brainstorm any initiatives that we could potentially do. You could think of different ways of doing things. You can think of different resources, mediums or tools, or different opportunities that you could use. And it could be initiatives at different scale or at different timelines, or initiatives that create different experiences. So think outside the box and try to figure out many things. For example, let's take our goal. The ABC Club wants to achieve the DCP by next June 30th. And let's say this club has only 9 members right now. That's their current state. 3 members sign up to become club officers. The club sets a goal to become the distinguished club, but what kind of activities or initiatives this club could do? Let's say after a brainstorming session, the club officers identified many initiatives: hosting an open house, organize a speechcraft course, build a new club website, new social media page, attend community events, and so many new initiatives. Wow. One might think that this club will definitely achieve its goal because they have so many initiatives that they could do. Is the problem solved yet? No. Now you face another dilemma. Too many options, but limited resources. At this stage of the process, you may have a plethora of ideas and initiatives. Trying to tackle them simultaneously can lead to inefficiency and dilution of focus, especially for a club with 9 members. This brings us to our next step in the IDS approach: simplify. As Hans Hofmann, the legendary abstract expressionism artist, said, eliminate the unnecessary so the necessary may speak. The bad news is it is much harder than said. We need to be so prudent in eliminating the unnecessary to find the necessary that helps us achieve our goal. The good news is it is doable. First off, I'd like to remind you 2 common knowledge on simplifying our life. How do we eat a big elephant? 1 bite at a time. Simplification involves breaking down complex tasks into manageable steps. When you simplify your task at hand, you will find greater focus and efficiency and also experience less stress. Second is a low-hanging fruit phenomenon. Why do we go to pick apples? Because we are hungry. Same principle here in Toastmasters. In this context, if you want to get rid of hunger, eat something first. Something. That's the main thing. So, as the saying goes, the first thing is to keep the first thing the first thing. In other words, pick the low-hanging apple first before you go higher in the tree. Once your hunger is more manageable, of course, you have energy to go further in the tree and find more delicious apples. Similarly, if we think from the DCP credits perspective, the easiest thing for you to do as club officers to aim for the training and administrative goals. These are low-hanging fruits in the DCP program, where with little bit focus, you can get the credits without further challenge. In order to make an informed decision analytically, I use a simple tool which I'd like to introduce you now. So I call this gain effort matrix. I developed this based on my personal experience in my personal life and how I prioritize what I need to do. What you do in assessing the gain you get with the effort you need to invest in completing each initiative. After evaluating the gains and efforts of each initiative, we create a two-dimensional matrix. On the x-axis or the horizontal axis, you plot the effort required for each initiative, with the low effort task on the left and the right effort and the high effort would go on the right side. On the y-axis or the vertical axis, we plot the gain of each initiative. Again, high gain tasks go on the top and the low gain tasks go at the bottom. Typically, the matrix will have 4 quadrants: A, B, C, and D. With all the initiatives plotted on the matrix, we can now see a visual representation of where each task falls in terms of gain and effort. As you can see, the quadrant A, you need less effort, but you get more gains. And that's exactly the quadrant that you should be looking at when you want to pick initiatives. And quadrant B could be helpful too. Of course, you have to make more effort, but your gains are higher as well. In Toastmasters, I use this simple template. Again, this is developed based on the DCP points. And when, as a club officer group, you could come together and you could identify some initiatives that could help you achieve all these goals. And then you rank effort and gain, and then you identify the zone where that would fall into. And when you think about the gain, something that you could think is that, does this particular initiative help your club members complete their pathways or achieve their educational goals? Or you could think, does this initiative help our members develop leadership competencies? Does this help us build camaraderie? Or does this help us create a positive, fun-filled environment? Or does this help us achieve our membership goals? Can we attract new members through this goal? Those are kind of the ideas you should be thinking when you think from the gain perspective. When it comes to the cost, you could think how much time each club officer should invest in this activity. Does this activity need some financial resources? If we do this activity, are we losing opportunities that our members could use for their pathway speeches? Those are the areas that you should be thinking when you evaluate gain and effort. I'd like to remind everyone that most of us have limited time for Toastmasters. We have busy lives outside of Toastmasters. From that perspective, we should be very strategic in choosing initiatives that we could contribute to and that could create more value for our club and our members. Now we identified what we want to do, and this is when I think the best time to think about the club success plan. Of course, Toastmasters has a club success plan that you could use. Now, the common excuse I've heard from many is that the Toastmasters club success plan template is lengthy and onerous. If you like to do things efficiently and in a simple way like I do, you could consider using this template, which I used when I was a club president. As you can see, we identify our goal and we all have agreed to live by the Toastmasters values, and that's why I always bring them: integrity, respect, excellence, and service. And then in this simple slide, which I used in my club executive meetings, it's just one slide. We have everything together. I got the DCP points, and then we identified the goals, as you can see under deliverables. These are some initiatives that our club officers agreed to do. Then we identified who is responsible for each activity and who is the backup. Of course, we are setting SMART goals, so we need to identify timelines. And then every month we met as the club executive team. I, as the president, brought up this slide and we checked where we are, our status, and how we could improve our initiative. This is a very simple template you could use if you don't like to use the Toastmasters comprehensive club success plan template. The most important thing to remember is that you develop your plan and you have to make progress in the plan. As you make progress, as the club leadership team, you need to be evaluating where you are at in your journey whenever you meet, whether it's monthly or bi-monthly or every quarter. It all depends on your club's interest. The point is, whenever you meet, just check where you are at. Key takeaways. In a nutshell, the IDS approach involves how to develop a club success plan. First of all, you identify where you are, your strengths and your challenges. Then you decide where you want to go. And then in the diversify stage, you try to understand what kind of activities your club could do. Then when you come to the simplification process, you try to eliminate some initiatives that you find is not worth according to gain and effort. And once you identify the initiatives, as the last step, you use a simple template to document the initiatives that you want to do during the year. Then you track the progress you make during the year. And most importantly, please keep in mind, how do you eat a big elephant? One small bite at a time. And how do you achieve targets? By aiming the low-hanging fruit first, and then gain more energy and build the momentum and go for higher goals. Every time we complete a task of any kind, our brain releases a small quantity of endorphin. These normal morphine-like compounds give us some sense of well-being and elation. Everything you do to go to your desired state brings you to a next level. Second thing I would like to highlight here is that after you complete your journey, you will never be the same person again. Even if you don't get to the desired state, you have made progress towards your desired state. The point I'm trying to make here is that be obsessed with the process, not the outcome. These are the books and references that had helped me in developing the IDS approach. And if you are a reader like me, please enjoy yourself. And also, I really like to thank you for your interest. And if you have any questions, or if you would like to receive the templates I developed for this workshop, please reach out to me. My email address is here, d61divc@gmail.com. I'm more than happy to share the templates which I shared with the workshop participants in August with you.